It's about that time of day again, folks. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter, boys and girls. Joseph James here. Wednesday evening, August 26, 2015. Are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? S&P holds the pullback after a beautiful buyer failure off the highs. Euro and gold are looking pretty interesting right now. Boy, are we bearish yet on euro and gold? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Crude Oil Futures here, continues to give us plenty of opportunities to make a handsome profit right now on the black gold. I could go on, but I'd be here all evening. Before we jump into our strategies for tomorrow, boy, oh boy, do I have a good newsletter in store for you guys and gals. I want to remind you guys, make sure you're watching this video on our trading blog here at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching this video on our YouTube page right now, there's a link in the description of the video that'll take you over to the blog. You might just be interested in watching this video over on our trading blog here at Sideways Markets. First of all, if you're not a member of School of Trade, you can grab a free pass. Come out and test drive our live trade room as a member for a day. Grab your free pass in the upper left-hand corner. Lower left-hand corner, we have a nightly newsletter mailing list. I would love to send you an email every evening, just about 8 p.m. Eastern Time, when this nightly newsletter goes live. Now you never have to worry about missing another newsletter video ever again. All you need is your name and your email address in that lower left-hand corner. Then right smack in the middle, right below the video tonight, you'll see a link there to download all the charts in tonight's video, and I got a couple bonus charts in there for you, some of the slower time frame stuff on the gold, the euro, and the S&P, in case you guys want to have those charts on your computer and ready to use on your own time tomorrow. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, you can register for a free trial membership here at schooloftrade.com. You can learn all about our membership levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You can also read real member reviews on our trading blog. And don't forget, guys, we always have someone standing by 24/7, 365 to give you guys any assistance that you may need along the way. So speak up if you need help. And definitely make sure you grab that free pass and register for the newsletter mailing list. All right, helmets on, seatbelts fastened. I hope you're rested for this one. Boy, oh boy, what an exciting day we had. We had to trade around the inventory report on crude today. What goes up, we keep selling and bring it right back down. When it goes up, we keep selling and right back down. Then the process continues. Crude oil, let's start out with the black gold, the crude futures. Crude oil is bearish this evening at the lows of the range, which means sellers, time to put some of that coin in the trade account, lock up a profit, and wait for opportunities to get back in short again at the highs. Or we may be in store here now after such a lackluster response to today's very bullish inventory report. Remember, we had a negative inventory number. They were expecting a positive, and price collapsed because of it. You don't see the market react in line with inventories very often. You just don't. Usually they act a little bit wacky on Wednesday. Today it was almost too easy. I mean, we saw a higher number come out. Price clearly now should have gone lower, and it did go lower. Definitely giving us some clues here. This may be the beginning of the end here for this little push up off these lows here. So what's our plan for tomorrow? Well, let's take a look at this, the key components we have here on the crude oil. First of all, bearish trend. Yeah, just a little bit bearish. Every time it goes up, we're selling it back down. Every time it goes up, we're selling it back down, right? How do we sell? Reversal patterns, buyer failure patterns at resistance, or wait for it to make the turn and sell, sell, sell with retracement patterns. What's the next key component? The bear flag. Ooh, baby, this bear flag's been very, very good to us this week. Definitely continuing to see opportunities with this bear flag. Again, we know this flag is going to last a little bit longer than we think it should. It's just the way that flags, spiking channels, and pennants work. If you missed Monday's newsletter, go back and watch Monday's newsletter. It's on my YouTube channel. You can also go and watch till the end of this video, and they just run in a loop. At the end of this video, you'll see the newsletter from yesterday, and then, of course, for that one for Monday. So we have a bear flag here right now, having a great time here. Every time price goes up, we keep selling it back down, and that's exactly what the plan is here going into tomorrow. That means sellers, as we rotate, right? As we rotate back towards these highs, we'll be looking for additional selling opportunities at these highs. And this is where that bear flag really comes to kind of trick people, is that if this price runs here up above 40, up towards 40.5, all of a sudden everybody's going to start calling the bottom, right? We're going back to 100. Oh, yeah. We've heard that a few times this year already. Yeah, remember $50 a barrel a few months ago? Yeah, that's right. That's $38 now. So clearly the calling the bottom, I'll take it all day long, because every time these rookie traders call the bottom, it just puts more fuel on the fire when they get stopped out, right? And we get to sell this thing right back down. We've been doing this all year. This started last December. We're going on almost a full year of just simply selling into buy stops or sell stops from the buyers. So as the price goes higher, we're looking for buyer failure at the high, right, to sell those highs. We're looking for a reversal pattern at the highs to sell those highs. We're looking for retracements as they come back down. That bottom line is that we may get some short-term buying opportunities on the way higher here, but buyers, treat them as scalps. They're uber aggressive right now because, again, you can just feel the heaviness of this market. So you may get the chance here to buy it on the way back up. I personally, if you're going to be a buyer, I would wait to see sellers fail as this price goes lower. Remember, there are going to be a lot of, I don't want to say the word suckers out there, but, we always say there's a new trader that enters the market every day, and we hope they sell the lows, right? So there's going to be someone that'll come in here and try to sell that low, and it might be successful. I'm not going to be selling the low, though. If you're going to be a buyer here, though, that's where you want to look for that seller failure and buy it up off that low. We are in a bear trend right now, but do not sell the low. You would want to sell things for the lowest possible price, right? You're going to sell your car, sell your home, sell a handful of gold coins at the lowest possible price? No, you want to sell at the highest possible price. So as we go lower here, buyers, that's where you definitely are going to get a shot here for for seller failure. Now, same thing goes for the sellers. As we go lower, if you're a buyer, seller failure, that's going to be really in my opinion, your best option to be a buyer. However, though, if we do see those buyers fail here, because remember, we should see this rotate back higher here. We get a very bearish reaction in today's inventory report. It may carry over tomorrow. That means if we do see buyers try, and price collapses, very aggressive. But again, do not just blindly sell those lows. That's why I said buyer failure at the low, right? Don't just blindly sell them. Wait for the buyers to try to get it up off this low and then sell into their stop losses. Then that will throw it right down towards those lows. As we go lower here, right? So again, we know the plan if we go higher, right? Sell the highs. We know the plan if we go lower, right? Buy those lows, aggressive, right? Buyer failure. Now we can look to sell that buyer failure and then down to the low again, right? Buy the seller failure off the lows. And then again, I don't think we're going to find our way all the way through that, but this is crude here. Buyers fail. If this continues to be bearish, as you can see though, what's the common denominator? If we go lower, the only way I sell this sucker is on buyer failure. If you're a buyer right now, the only place you want to be buying is deep into oversold territory, at the channel lows, at the range lows. Where's the tastiest trade here? Up at the highs again, right? Up at the highs again. So if we take back off of the highs, you might get some nibbles going back higher. I'll be waiting up here for buyer failure to sell it back down. The plan continues. The only thing that I want you guys to be careful about is just selling this low. Trying to sell that low. Really got to be patient. Wait for the buyers to try twice. When they fail, it's aggressive. It's aggressive selling those lows. But again, in anticipation of the reaction from today's inventory report. Guys, you do not have to trade this market alone tomorrow. Come out and join me in the live trade room. Let's jump in here now to the S&P. Now, S&P, I got to say, definitely impressed by the buyers today. If you recall, we're watching this price go lower here, right, on the S&P, and we're saying, all right, we're expecting to see a correction off that low. If we hold the pullback, we should see a rotation back up to the high of this bear flag, right? So, bear flag, again, we talked about this early on Monday. This is really nothing new here. So we know we have the flag coming in. We know that these buyers, they did hold the pullback. In other words, sellers couldn't keep the Momo going low, right? They couldn't keep it going lower. So we know they go up. We're expecting the retest of that low. They hold the pullback. Now we have a short-term bullish opportunity. Bada boom, bada boom, right there. Short-term opportunity now using that short-term bull channel. Now, don't get too drunk on the Kool-Aid here if you're a bull right now. We get a little bit more room to go. If I had to guess here, that's, we'll call it 1970 just to be safe. The reality, though, is let's zoom in now on this bull channel to give you guys a little bit of idea of where the best trades are going to come tomorrow. And you can kind of see how I've kind of outlined it. We do expect rotation, right? We do expect rotation. Low to the high, high to the low, low to the high, high to the low, and then up we go. So I'm not going to say to buy right now, but I'm definitely going to say here to be ready for the buying opportunities on the way back up to the high of that bear flag. Now we go zooming in. Much faster time frame now. Now you can see this major channel high, right? That's going to be your bear flag. Okay, so we're rotating up to the highs now. And then, of course, you've got this short-term bull channel. And here we are, rotation. Now, if I had to guess right now where the best buying opportunity will be for tomorrow, I see this little trend line coming down, right? Some folks may call this a triangle, whatever you want to call it. But we definitely would expect, though, for this to be where you're going to get the best bang for the buck, right? On the pullback, back into this range area, pull back to the 200 moving average, the BMT at 1905, right? And then give us that next push higher. You'll notice we have an ABCD correction going back up to those range highs. That's definitely going to be your target for the bulls right now. And then if we happen to dip into the old bull jar here a little bit, we could go all the way back up here. And there's that 1970, right? There's that 1970 that we're talking about off of the larger picture, right? There's that 1970 right about there. So we're right on track here. Bulls held the pullback. Got to tip my hat to those bulls here. They are definitely showing up here right now. And as I always say, anybody can put together a one-day rally, which we saw earlier today, but can the bulls hold the pullback? And they definitely did. They definitely held that pullback. We got a beautiful sell, if you recall, buyer failure off that high. All we got was half of it. That's all we got was half of it. Takes you out on your trailing stop, and of course makes a new high, and we go, okay, all right, we had you bears pegged as being still in control. Not so fast. Bulls are back in control, and guys, do not confuse this. Being a professional trader is all about knowing exactly when the trend shifts. That's part of the business. Don't think for 1 second, boy, we don't know where we're going right now. I don't need to know where we're going right now. Remember, I don't try to predict the future. I just identify the highest probability opportunities, and I trade my plan using low risk and high probability setups. If you're looking for somebody to predict the future, right, go find someone to read tarot cards or something like that, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to tell you, well, my job as a professional trader is to find high probability setups. We held the pullback. The highest probability setup right now is buying on that pullback next as we pull back. And again, I would love to trade this pullback to this little trend line high as we combine these two right here. That would really be the tastiest area there for us to get long. And then if we do happen just to run higher here, right, if we don't rotate up the highs, if we do just run up to these highs here, nothing really changes. We still have to wait for that pullback to really be a buyer anyways, because I'm not going to buy the high. Alrighty? Guys, don't forget, one of our favorite markets right now, the E-mini S&P. Come out and trade this with me tomorrow in our live trade room. Moving on now to the euro. Now this euro, like we said last night, we were wondering how far back this euro was going to pull. Well, we got the answer today. All the way back to the lows of that bull channel. Now, we expected it, but with all the volatility this week, we definitely knew that this could have easily gone A, B, C, D correction back, and then, of course, taken off back to the upside. Well, the A, B, C, D support came right about here, and you can see it just rolled right over and kept going. So this flag, in true flag fashion, is definitely lasting longer than we think it will. And that is typical for these bull flags. It really is. Every time I see these flags, pennants, and spiking channels, I always think I know how far it's going to pull back, but I'm telling you, it always seems to exceed my expectations. Now these buyers are really in a juicy area. This is go time for the bulls right now. This is absolute go time. As you can see, euro is bullish, trading deep into correction off the highs with a bull flag. Buyers are looking for trades at the lows of the channel, as well as using that resistance zone overhead for seller failure and add-on potentials. Now, here's what I see right now. Let's walk this through here. Let's take a look at the key components here right now. First of all, we definitely have a bullish trend. Now, this bullish trend is going to be teetering here. It is. Because if we go higher here and can't hold, this quickly now becomes a bearish trend. And guys, when we see a bull flag fail, where does it go back to? It goes back to the flagpole, 1027. So if you're a seller right now, keep a close eye on that 1027. If you're a bear right now in the euro for whatever reason, keep an eye on that 1027. That's going to be your ultimate target here as we go into the end of the week here if this flag does not hold. That's the first key component. But as of right now, though, there's no reason to think it won't hold. Second component here, the bull channel. We're right down the lows of this bull channel, and that's exactly what we've been waiting on all week. We knew we were likely going to get that correction off the highs, back to the low channel, and then now look for buying opportunities. That's going to be our second main component here. First component is the flag. That tells us expected pullback. Bull channel tells us buy the low of that bull channel. And, of course, the ABCD correction off the highs. ABCD, a little bit over correction here right now. It's fine by me, right? The deeper it goes lower, the more enticing it's going to be for these buyers to come in. Okay, ABCD correction puts us right at a perfect spot here at those lows. Right? So don't confuse that. We are definitely in a great buying opportunity area here right now. And then here's what I think is going to be the most important factor for tomorrow. Overhead resistance as we go higher. Right here, right there, this area right here. In my opinion, you should have no problem finding buying opportunities up to that 1429 to 1461 area. But that's where the buyers are really going to throw gasoline on this fire. What I expect to happen is I expect price to come up off this low, hit the high of this channel, and if you see those sellers fail, watch out. Because that's where all the sellers who got short off the highs, you know that's where their stops are going to be hanging out. You know that's where the wise buyers, I'm sure there are quite a few buyers out here right now that are saying, boy, we've had incredible volatility this week. Do I really trust this thing right now? And where's going to be the definitive kick you in the mouth, right? We're guaranteed bullish. It's going to be when those sellers try to hold that channel high and they fail. So if you want to be aggressive right now, you're buying right now. If you want to be a little more conservative, wait for those sellers to fail up around that 1429 to 1461 area overhead. That's where you really want to load up as we go back towards that high of 1716. Now, with that said, that also puts me with now our final key component, which is a support below, right? Now, if you're a bear right now, you might be thinking, Joe, there ain't no way these buyers are going to be able to hold on to this. Look at that correction off. But remember, it's just a correction at this point. What do we expect to happen right now? We expect the buyers to come in, and we expect them to buy this low. If they fail, now we have the opportunity to start selling. So if you're a seller right now, I think you're a little bit premature to be selling right now. Okay, if you're a seller right now, really I would wait for failure below the 1286, below this area right here. Once you see that area try to hold and fail, then you pretty much got this thing pegged going back down to that 1027. You've got targets waiting below. Targets, 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 and the granddaddy target down at 1027 as we fail on the bull flag and return all the way back to the beginning of the flagpole. Guys, bulls are in control right now, but as you can see though, if they can't hold this area right here, this is going to be a bloodbath here by these buyers. Really the best buying opportunity right now is going to come if we see seller failure at this 1429, right, to 1460 area. That's where you really want to be loading up there because you got some targets waiting for you overhead and plenty of room, right, for this price to keep going. Last but not least here, on the gold. Boy, oh boy, gold couldn't hold it together here as it pulls back. Gold is now bearish after buyers failed to hold the pullback off the highs. This is exactly what happens when we see a huge run up, the ABCD correction back down, and of course they just couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold the pullback. And like I said last night in last night's newsletter, the only way you're buying that low here is with seller failure, right? We never got the seller failure. It just kept on going. And at that point now we're going, all right, this is very obvious. ABCD measured move can't hold. We give it one shot here, two shots to buy the low of that bull channel. Nothing's working for those bulls, and the bears completely take it over. Now we definitely have a bearish market on our hands right now. Buyers fail to hold the pullback off the highs. Buyers fail to hold the lows of the channel. Now, what's our plan for tomorrow? My plan ultimately is to use this new bear channel to start gunning for this major trend line that we see marked up down the lows here, right? If you go back in time a little bit, you'll notice there's a major, almost a double bottom there, but it's a major trend line support. So that's going to be a definite easy bullseye for sellers right now. But let's take a look at the channel here. We have this minor channel coming down. They dipped a little bit too far into the bearish territory here with that overshoot. That tells me now to expect the ABCD correction back off. A, B, C, D into overshot territory above before we get that next sell back down. Here are my key components for the gold tomorrow. Again, bearish trend. Why is it a bearish trend? Because the minute those buyers couldn't hold that pullback is the minute this becomes a bearish trend now. Second thing, bear channel. More specifically, the bear channel overshoot. I think that's going to be your biggest clue as far as when the timing is right to be a seller again for tomorrow. I do expect now component number 3, the ABCD support. ABCD support. We do have major support here via, I believe this is a golden ratio extension down here. Major support coming in. Next component, AB equals CD correction off the lows. Exactly what I'm talking about with this little Bob Ross impersonation, right? It's a happy little ABCD correction. Back up off these lows, ABCD into overshot territory. Remember, if we dip into overshot territory on the downside, we're going to dip back into it on the upside, most likely. No guarantees in this world, right? But that's what we're anticipating, and that's where the best tradable opportunity is going to be for you sellers as we make the overcorrect back higher. If you want to know the exact price to be selling at, look for an ABCD correction back higher, and then we're looking for buyer failure up at that overshoot area to sell it right back down. And then again, the last component to this is this major trend line support. That's ultimately your target right now in the short term, and then 93.6 to 83.9, that'll be your target here more long term on the gold. What a crazy week we've had this week, right? The ATM machine that we call crude oil continues to pump out profitable trades. The S&P has been some of the craziest price action we've seen all week, but the reality is nothing changes. Find the trend, find the high probability setup, find the proper trigger. Nothing changes. I don't care how wacky it looks like it is right there. It doesn't matter. We continue to trade our plan this week, and we continue to have a great summertime week. I'll tell you, I'll take this price action all year round. I'll take it all year round. We moved from a 1-point target to a 2-point target on the S&P this week. It's been that incredible price action in the S&P. Guys and gals, don't take it from me here. I love to share all this information every evening on our newsletter, but come out and join me. Come trade with me tomorrow in the trade room. Tomorrow morning, we open up our live trade room at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I'd love to send you guys a free pass. Come out and test drive our trade room as part of our free trial. Grab the free trial on our website at schooloftrade.com. And, of course, beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of membership. We have a place for beginners to begin their career and a place for all those experienced traders to put the right tools in their toolbox to make money out of these, well, what I think to be very methodical markets these days. It all makes sense if you know what you're looking for, right? So come out and join me tomorrow. Join the free trial. And don't forget, if you need any additional information, we're here to help 24/7, 365. My name is Joseph. Thank you so much for waiting patiently for me this evening. Sorry the newsletter's a little bit later than normal. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. 8 a.m. we open the trade room. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll wrap up the final session for our nightly newsletter last night. Hope you guys are having a great week with us. My name is Joseph. Be well out there. Be nice to each other and be here in the mañana. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.